What did you study?
The kidney.
For who? Or nothing?
What were you going to say?
No.
No, tell me.
No, it's
No, it's okay,
it was a
really.
joke. I think so. The price of the tuition, but I wouldn't say anything.
But you know what? It's not like, I mean, besides like a UC or something like that, it's the same as the other schools. It's an LMU, like LMU's more than this.
Yeah.
So,
In terms of cost, you mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone says it's like so expensive. That's just because it's junior college and it's not college.
Yeah. Why should you pay tuition to come to a place that you could?
Because this is like a city college, is not like. We on?
I don't know, but just tell me anyway.
A city college, you don't get a college atmosphere. You have everyone's commuting, and you don't. It's harder to make friends, I'm sure, and it's bigger first of all than this.
And maybe you don't get the computers, the VCRs in the classrooms, all the facilities.
You don't
that
get
you
the
here.
involvement, I don't think. And I think one more thing is that the teachers really care. You can tell they're really interested, and they ask if you're not in class. And they don't bug you or anything, but they want to know why you're not there. They're concerned. They're all nice people.
I think I've asked everything that I need to ask. Wasn't that painless?
Completely.
Completely.
What did you ask the other students?
I'm not involved in what kinds of activities on campus are there? On or off campus?
Okay. You can belong. You're peer minister.
Peer ministry, peer
We are peer
counseling,
counselor.
Stallions, which is
Work with the public relations of the school.
yeah.
You can get in the international club, the speech club, tennis team, soccer
There's
team.
a lot.
Yeah.
Did you say international club?
Yeah.
What have you been involved in?
Everything.
I was involved in peer counseling, and we went on some retreats and.
What was your favorite activity?
My favorite activity.
Or excursion, or retreat, or club, or anything?
I couldn't pick a favorite one because I just,
It's different.
as in general, I've just had really good experiences, and I've learned a lot from everything I've done, and so it all plays a part in it.
How important is that involvement?
Very important. As a matter of fact, school, Georgetown School I want to go to next year is really, they have a lot of emphasis on community service, and I'm hoping that the stuff that I've done here will influence them to take me, but that's another thing. I want to continue doing this kind of stuff next year.
Yeah, you get involved not
Yeah.
only for the grades, but for the social part of the school. And that's,
Not even for social, too, is that you learn so much, and you meet so many different kinds of people, and you learn more about your world. The more that you're exposed to, the more you learn about your world.
Good. Okay, super. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Did great. Again, as usual. Geez, what else is new? It's really monotonous. You should. Are you excited?
Very excited. Well, it's weird because the closer it gets to graduation, at the beginning of the year I was excited, graduate, yay. But the closer it gets to graduation, the sadder I am. And I'm collecting all this Marymount memorabilia, and I'm buying posters and T-shirts and all sorts of things.
You don't want to leave, huh?
I don't. Well, I want to move on, but I don't want to leave the school because I love it so much.
You've been here both years.
Yes.
Where'd you come from?
Well, I lived in Newport Beach, went to high school there, but before that I lived in Maryland. So it's a bit of a culture shock still, but I love it. I love it here a lot.
How did you happen to hear about Marymount?
Through a college night at my high school. There were tables set up all over the place from various colleges, and Marymount had one. And the students there were 2 students and a faculty member, I believe, and they were just so enthusiastic about it that I said, okay, give me a brochure, and I came up and checked it out and fell in love with it.
The location? Is that one of the first attracting features?
I think so. I mean, it's beautiful campus. You can see Catalina, and sometimes you're above the clouds, and I think that's a big impact. If you're at another school where it's crowded and smoggy, and it'll give you a bad influence, a bad aura kind of around you. But this is beautiful up here. I love it.
What else do you think attracted you to the school?
I found out through asking students that went here when I came up for my interview that the teachers were very personal, and they gave a one-on-one basis, and that was important to me. I never did well in high school, and I thought it was because of lack of attention from teachers, and I came up here and I got the attention that I thought I needed, and I've done very well here.
It's a battery change. Stand by.
Oh, that problem.
Yeah.
And I was going to major in that, but then I thought, well, that's a good hobby, but maybe that's not the best career for me. And I took a couple sociology and psychology classes and found it very interesting and decided to major in sociology.
Was that, had you ever done anything in that before, explored that at all, or?
I've never explored the field, sociology itself, but I've always been very interested in people, either, you know, seeing what makes them tick or helping them or something like that, so I figured this would be the field for me.
Did you have any idea that that would be a field before you came to Marymount?
No, at that point I was still into fashion very much, so I was thinking, fashion, that's for me. But as again, on the Marymount campus with all the people, all the involvement, I decided to look into it a little more.
What words of wisdom would you give students that get into college and say, well, I know what I want to do. Why do I have to take all this general ed stuff? I know I want to do this or that.
It's funny you asked that, because I was exactly that way. And as I was talking to one of my advisors, she told me that, you know, to be open-minded about it and to take all sorts of classes, and that's what made me switch, actually, is taking the different classes and realizing that there is something better out there. So I think the general education idea about getting a little bit of everything is a very good idea. It's great.
What kind of opportunities do you think Marymount has given you that you might not have had if you'd gone straight into a four-year college?
Oh, wow. Going to a school like this, a small school especially, I feel gave me opportunities to develop more skills, study skills, skills with dealing with people. I was involved with a lot of groups, and I don't think I would have been involved if I was at a large school. I would have been too shy. But knowing that there were smaller amounts of people, I worked into the groups, and I just found it great. I love it.
What size classes do you have?
Maximum 25 students per class. I have a few with just 10 people in the class, and it's great. The tension is great. You become a family member with the other students. They come over and you eat popcorn, you study the class and talk about the good points about each class, and it's just great.
What about that kind of contact with teachers? Can you think of any examples where you've had that kind of relaxed, casual contact with teachers, not classroom contact?
Well, quite often I'll go into a teacher's office just to chat and say hello and how's it going and what's new, and teachers will pass me in the hall and stop and chat with me and say, you know, you did well on the test last week, that's great, you're studying, and I'm proud of you, and how's life? It's really, the contact is really good.
Where are you going next?
I'm transferring to UC Irvine. Very excited about that. Coming from high school, I graduated with high school with a 2.1 grade average. I was in no clubs, and I'm graduating from Marymount with a 3.8, and I was involved with 6 clubs. And I think that if I had transferred to a 4-year college, I wouldn't have done that. And I think it's because of Marymount.
Why?
The contact, the smallness of the school, the interpersonal relationships, and the emphasis and the inspiration that the teachers give you to be involved in things.
So you think that being involved is as much a part of school as the academics?
Definitely. I think with involvement you feel more pride in yourself, and you know that other people are rooting for you to do well in your studies as well as outside of school. And with that emphasis, you're just inspired completely.
Rumble?
Yeah.
Too late,
UFO running out of gas.
Yeah, great. I wasn't sure
Not
if
a
that
problem.
was,
Not a
it's not a problem, okay, good. I'm sensitive to outside noises, thinking, oh, well, that's going to screw up the sound. Jill, if you could add one feature to the college, what would it be?
I would make it a 4-year school. Keep the size, keep it to 800 students or, you know, a small level, but I'd make it 4 years. I mean, I would definitely, if this was a 4-year college, I would stay. I love it so much. And having it be 2 years, you feel a sense of accomplishment that you've graduated, you've mastered a certain aspect of it, but also there's a sadness in me right now knowing that I'm graduating in 2 years and I won't be back here. I mean, I know I'll come visit, definitely, but knowing that I won't be back here every day. So I would make it 4 year. Yeah, it's very hard to leave because there are so many people and things you love about this place, the teachers, the faculty, just the area in general.
What do you think is the one thing you miss the most?
The teachers. Just I've made such good friends with some of them. I mean, even to the point where I'm going to ask for their address and write them every day, you know, and they seem to be in contact with me a lot too. I made some good friends.
So overall, you'd say the teachers are real accessible?
Oh, very much so. They give you a list in the beginning of the year of the hours that they're available, and they give you their home phone number, which I'm sure that teachers at a big college wouldn't do, in fear. But since this college is so family-oriented, the whole school is just one big family, they'll give you their home phone number and say, call me, even if it's at midnight. If you have a problem, call me. And they're there for you.
What about the Catholic nature of the school? Has that been a big part?
In my college?
Yeah.
No, not as much. I'm not very religiously inclined. There is a lot of activities for all sorts of religions, not just Catholics. I mean, there's Mass every week, but they have, we celebrate Jewish holidays. There are activities going on and all sorts of different religious events. So it's basically a Catholic school, but you don't have to be Catholic to go here, and you don't have to be Catholic to fit in. They welcome everybody, and everyone is accepted.
Do you have any words of wisdom that you would offer to high school students when they're thinking about Marymount, or they're thinking about, they're not quite sure that they want to go to a two-year college, they have reservations about a two-year college?
I would definitely, especially for the students that haven't done very well in high school, I would definitely consider a two-year college like Marymount, one that's small, one that is strong in the relationships area, liberal arts college. I would highly suggest it over a four-year college. For the students that are better, who have done very well, if they feel they can handle it, go to a four-year college. But I think they would benefit even more by coming here too, just so they know what college is like and what to expect, and to get a good feeling about it.
Anything else that you would, can you think of any particular anecdotes of times that you've had with teachers?
Well, in my winter term class, it was called Elements of Optimal Form, which was a mixture of architecture and philosophy. We went on a field trip. It was like a scavenger hunt around LA, and we had to take pictures of all sorts of different buildings and the architecture, and look for different shapes and see if there was any aesthetic meaning in them, in the buildings. And my teachers, we were all driving around in separate cars, and the teachers would honk at us and be one of the students and run around, run up and down the escalators and do all sorts of things with us, just like they were students and they were having fun with us. So it's not strictly a lecture school. I mean, there are trips and there are times where you can just have fun, and they don't feel like they're above you in any way. I think it's great.
Sweet, super. Well, I think that's probably all we need to know.
Okay.
Very good. Thanks.
Oh, I gotta move, I'll jump. All right. Ta-da. Oh.
One?
Yeah. Get there, get aggressive!
Yeah! Whoa!
Here you go, here you go.
There you go, there you go. Oh, hey, net.
Net ball. 4-3. 3-4. 4-3. 4-3. Tom, let's get aggressive. Communication.
Right there, perfect example. Huh?
Oh, start in the cameraman.
Nice.
Very nice. Find the weak spot. Dan for. Oh.
You score by Hawaiian scorer, Lawrence. Oh. Tied up, Lawrence. Oh, the screws.
6 off. Thank you, Brent.
No! Breast rule! The breast rule!
Oh, I said the for a second. 6 seconds.
Over.
Very nice.
No.
We're looking at him.
Take the target. Dan! Everybody running. What's the score then?
Smile, you're on camera.
Oh,
Nice, Tom. Very nice.
Dan. He counted out him coming up, Michael.
Here, Spike.
Ah, choker!
I get the second hit.
Okay, let's go.
Thank you.
I can't see it. That was terrible. I'm like, over here. My hands are like this. You guys,
Defeat.
agony of defeat.
Feet. No.
Hold the interview till later.
Brent. Michelle.
Oh, weak spot.
Sorry,
Center.
Michelle.
Say yeah.
No.
Wait a minute.
Oh, wait.
Sorry, I thought. Wait.
Yeah, everybody switch. You're in the middle. You're over here. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Jordan.
Oh, nice. That's like.
On your team.
Are you? I thought you were on our team.
Service.
You come on our side. Oh, come on now.
What?
Yeah, rotate it. Get up there.
Service. Are you ready? Just
3 and 3.
Let us know.
keep it right middle.
Let us know.
Just go.
Okay, you won last game. No. Oh, on camera.
Adam's up.
Sorry about that, bro. I wasn't a very good hitter. It's gonna go! No.
1-0. 0-1.
I got one. No, I got two. Pretty good. Slam it. That's back up. I think we got 2-1.
What's the score?
Upper right.
We have 1. 2-1.
1-2. Yeah.
Go in.
Come on.
Very nice, Dan.
Am I ready?
Whoa. There you go. Put it up. Aggressive. Ow!
Yeah, hit the nut there. Sorry.
No, it wasn't over that. It's okay.
All right.
What's the score?
What's the score?
6-2.
What?
6-2. 6-2. I don't have it.
Fight to that point.
Get aggressive, Tara. Get aggressive. Derek, get aggressive. Off the net, Ann. Whoa, get aggressive. Get aggressive. Uh-oh.
Big set.
Over. Oh, shit. There we go.
Got
Big
it.
set. Big set.
Right in the sun.
No, no.